Live. You're live. Here we go. Guys, the Montreal Canadiens have a huge opportunity tonight as they go into Columbus. Before the Christmas break, there was a huge chance to change the entire momentum and feel around this team across the entire NHL. Jesse, we got to talk about that. Plus, Patrik Laine actually had some interesting timing comments regarding the Columbus Blue Jackets and why he wanted to leave. You have Ivan Demidov being named Rookie of the Week. We have some Jake Evans contract talks, and we have some Lane Hutson historic things going on. Welcome in all you. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Hopefully everything holds up. Jesse, how you feeling for this Monday live stream? New setup, new city. Again, I'm visiting home for the holidays, so hopefully this holds up, and I'm ready to get this going.
Absolutely. We're feeling good. It's that festive season. The Montreal Canadiens are looking to start this new year off right with hopefully their fourth straight win against Columbus, a winnable game here tonight. So we see it's that exciting time for the Montreal Canadiens because we know there's going to still be some more bumps along the road, but this Montreal Canadiens team will turn that corner eventually. Mark my word, folks, and you're going to want to be there for it. Subscribe to the channel, folks, because, we got those good times coming just up ahead.
A lot of you watching this right now are not subscribed. Half of you. We know that, and we're trying. We got some huge goals. We just hit 16,000, and we can't thank you guys enough. We have even bigger goals in mind, so thank you for showing up every single day. Jesse, there's a lot of stuff we want to get into in this stream. I know we started late. Apologies for that. Thank you all for sticking around. We still got 66 of you in here now. I just love if you guys could leave a like to start this stream off now that we finally got it going. Jesse, what say we start with a little talk about Lane Hutson. Now, he's a guy we talked a lot about yesterday because, well, let's just be honest, this dude's having an absolutely historic season. Let's bring up a recent RDS article that is linked in the description down below, talking about some other great defenseman seasons as rookies in NHL history. Right now, as we mentioned yesterday, Lane Hutson coming into this game against the Blue Jackets is on a 62-point pace. The last rookie defenseman to surpass 60 points in the season was Nick Lidstrom in 91-92. The last Habs rookie defenseman to surpass the 62 points in a season was Chris Chelios in 84-85. There's so much stuff. He's 2 points behind Matvei Michkov. The last defenseman to have 50 in the season was Mo Seider, and no Hab has won the Calder since Ken Dryden. He has some stiff competition, Jesse, but every single day when we look at these other names being added to this list, whether it's, the Brian Leetches of the world that we were talking about before, whether it's the Quinn Hughes of today, and even the Nick Lidstroms of 91-92 and Chris Chelios, it feels like we can't help but have Lane Hutson in the conversation with the greats.
And he's just starting to cook right now, which is interesting. He started off the season good. We're talking about those 7 points in his first 14 games. But Josh, he just went on an absolute heater since then. You would think kind of as he's getting more kind of used to that NHL game over this last 19 games, 18 points that he scored, kind of showing that he can be that point per game type of guy. Of course, getting this coincides with him becoming more of the quarterback on the power play, also with Laine. But it's really showing that as he's on the power play and as he kind of heats up, he's really just getting going. We're really seeing the potential. More of these goals will come for him, more of these points, right? Josh, the fact, you just laid some huge statistics, just one more, he's on pace to defeat, Quinn Hughes' rather, 53 points. That was the last most points by a rookie defenseman in the NHL.
Jesse, this is a chaotic start to the stream, hey? A chaotic start to the stream, hey?
It definitely, you know what? You got to roll with it, Josh. You're seeing family over the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
You got to see it. But we're here to do the content every day, all the same, right? So obviously you're hustling to kind of make that happen, and we appreciate your efforts.
So, thank you. And the fact that you guys are all tuning in for this, it really warms our heart, right? We got some issues, but that's what adds character to this stream. We got over 100 of you in here for a pregame live stream. That's incredible. Thank you all. And you know what? You're absolutely right, Jesse. Quinn Hughes' numbers were insane. We actually compared Lane Hutson. Let me see if I still have that stat. Let's see. Do I have it? I don't have it. But Brock Faber, right? 47 points last year. He was in that Calder race. Connor Bedard, 61 points last year. Lane Hutson's on pace for... Oh, we got to go back to the chat. Lane Hutson's on pace for 62. But Jesse, this is chaos. We're rolling with the punches here. We got Simon Desjardins coming into the chat, re-upping his Hall of Fame membership. Simon has been a member for 4 months, and it's been around much longer than that. Hall of Fame, guys. Unbelievable stuff. Simon, thank you so much. Simon will be in a video on the channel very soon for being in this Hall of Fame tier membership. Simon, again, it was fantastic meeting you last week. It's been amazing to have you around. Cannot thank you enough for that. Seriously, guys, I want you to pour out some support for Simo in the chat right now, because that is absolutely unbelievable. Jesse, that's unreal to see.
Absolutely. Such a big supporter of the channel. Such a great, person as well. We love getting to meet, our fans on these video chats as well. So knowledgeable of the game. And we just want to say that we know that about our fans and something we appreciate. Like, we know that you guys live and breathe, Montreal Canadiens, that hockey, right? It really shows, and we just appreciate you guys so much.
Absolutely. I'm going to take a look through the chat as well for it. Like, there's so many people in here. Jack McCool, Lil Devo. We got Joel in here with the Patrik Laine emotes. Thank you. I'm hoping for a Laine goal tonight versus Columbus. Me too. We got Nathan saying, what's up? Hey, Nathan, you've been in here sending a lot of messages. What is up? Will they make the playoffs? 1 equals yes, 2 equals no. We got a couple people saying no, but we'll be talking about that. We got Canadian dude, still going to call you Super Gujan, maybe. I don't know. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia, all the way across the world. Yeah, this is a crazy start to the stream, but we got people rolling in, Jesse. We got that energy still high. That's what we do here, right? So we got to keep this rolling. And we got another super chat here from Mr. Niles saying, Simo smells. Disagree. Thank you for the $3.33. But I don't know about that message. that is what it is.
Disagree.
Yeah, thank you so much, though. Really, really appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. Are you giving some of the regular contributors Christmas present memberships? I mean, look, there's always gifted memberships. That might be a decent idea after Christmas, Jesse. Some kind of live stream. I don't mind giving out some nice memberships to a lot of people here in the chat. That'll be something that we're keeping in mind as a nice little Christmas present for you guys. But Jesse, we got a lot of stuff to get into. What do you want to talk about next? We got some Evans stuff. We got some Laine stuff other than the Columbus comments. We got Demidov. And any ideas on what we should hop into next year?
Let's get into our boy Evans. He is a hot topic around town right now.
Jake Evans right now, obviously he's played 33 games. He's going to be playing tonight, and he's probably going to play a critical role, as he always does for Montreal. 19.7 goals this season. Now, guys, the big thing I want to ask you guys right now, I'm going to put up a poll in this chat. Start a poll. Do we re-sign, or I guess extend, I should say. Do we extend or trade Evans? And I want you guys to all answer this. I got a funny feeling, Jesse, that I know exactly what the fans are going to say.
It's unanimous.
It's going to be
borderline
pretty close.
Unanimous.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be super, super, super close. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts right now, because Jake Evans has been so good. He's been playing himself into extension talks, but also, Jesse, you got to imagine teams are desperate for his services. It's going to be interesting to see what this package is as we get another super chat, Jesse, from George, our boy George Mayer, one of our longest tenured and most amazing channel members. Hello, Josh and Jesse. I'm so happy to see you both. Go Galley, go. George, you must have been thrilled for that Galley one-time goal, Jesse. So great to see George back in the stream too.
Oh yeah, love having you here, buddy. We just love it. Like we're getting close to Christmas when George is joining us for the chat.
Absolutely, and it's not just that. We also got Simon Desjardins. We're talking about Christmas gifted memberships. Simon has gifted 5 random memberships to people in the chat, guys. Thank you so much to George, to Simon. Simon, you're so generous. If you hear your name, you are now a channel member. Send some of those new emotes here. We're sending in. I've got all these emotes here in the chat. Some great ones here. Send them all in. Let me go back and let's take a look at the names. We got CA. We got Denise Pink. We got David Darcy, longtime stream commenter as well over in Ireland. We got Francis Perron, and we got Mike Hackett. Woo. All now channel members courtesy of Simon. Say thank you to Simon. Unreal start to this stream here, Jesse. But let's get back, I suppose, on track to Evans. As we heard yesterday, there's still crickets on contract negotiations. There's one thing on what I want them to do with Evans. There's another on what I think Kent Hughes and management will do. Do you think now, like as we're heading into Christmas, I know he said still crickets, but you have to think that Kent Hughes is legitimately getting ready, preparing these talks?
He is. He's always staying one step ahead, but it's still a little bit of a surprise. You weren't banking on this all the way. The fact of him having that 50-point season, right? But Martin St. Louis, credit goes to him, as he's always felt like there's a little bit more offense in his game. I want to bring this back to you, though, Josh, as well as our viewers, is we love Jake Evans. We're not going to try and take anything away, but a big common thing for any player in even any sport going into their contract year is to have a really big performance in your contract year. We've seen it just time and time again so many times here. So right now we have like a perfect storm where like he fits really well for our team, but he's playing well, so it's going to increase more value. Mm-hmm. And also the fact if we were to trade, like his value is going up. So there's a lot of perfect storms to trade him. But at the same time, it's a catch-22 for what he's bringing to this team. This production in this contract year, are you betting on that going forward, Josh? What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, my thoughts on this is basically like he's 28, almost 29, right? So like you could just based on the average age curve of NHL players, you can expect him to decline from here on out. Like I don't expect a sharp decline, but you would expect his age 28 season in line with other NHL players to be roughly his peak, right? So this is roughly his peak and it's aligning with a contract year. Now his development was slower than a lot of other players, so that might throw a little spanner into the mix. That was a very British thing to say. But, you know, still, like I don't know, when it comes to Jake Evans, Jesse, like I want him so bad, as the poll right now is overwhelmingly to extend Jake Evans. It's 83% right now extend, 84, 83%, 17, 16% to trade. But like, you gotta wonder, I think that's a fantastic point you raised. Like, contract year players, a lot of the time that's when they play the best hockey of their career because they can get the bag. And who can blame them, right? Someone's gonna sign Evans for about $4 million a season. It would not shock me to see teams offer him around $4 million a season. You see Yakov Trenin, who's a defensive winger, get $3.75 million per year for, I think it was 3 years in Minnesota. You can't tell me that Jake Evans is worth less than that, right? We're talking 3.5 to 4 million a year for 3 or 4 years. So at that point, for his production right now, happily I would pay that, right? Even if he was down closer to the 30, 35 point mark, if he was still that impactful in the penalty kill, I'd be okay with that. But there's always a sneaking suspicion that, like, I don't know. I don't think Kent will want to trade him. I think they want to keep him around, though we do have the pieces to semi-replace him in Kaiden and Beck. But also, Jesse, I just think it depends on what teams would offer for him, because it wouldn't shock me to see some pretty significant offers out there.
That's the thing. And you kind of want to maybe do this early on instead of kind of getting that bidding war. But obviously we do have the rights to be able to kind of do that ahead of time there. So this will be really interesting to kind of seeing going forward with what the Montreal Canadiens want to do. Obviously the way that it's trending though right now is, Kent, if he continues this up, like Kent is going to have to pick up that phone right now. But the big thing is also to consider, it's like when you're saying like, okay, just bring up a Beck and put him on the wing. But it's like, Owen Beck is so good on the dot. Like, if you're bringing him in, like, you want Owen Beck to be playing center. This is a guy who, for me, like, plays a really pro game. Like, the shots of Beck, like, actually, like, panning out to be a really solid 4C, even, like, early on, for me, again, are, like, 80%. Like, there's a really good chance that you're getting that. If you're looking to kind of free up some money, I think Kent wants to invest in the right players, but he's very careful now with these contracts. We're just getting rid of some bad ones. So the last thing that Kent is going to want to do is kind of put that money. I think this is a much more sound investment with Jake Evans. You brought up a great point. Like, he might even be a little bit of a late bloomer. Like, it took some longer for him to come into his prime. So there is maybe a good chance that his kind of window there of his best hockey will be extended correspondingly there. Very interesting to kind of see going forward. Kent will have to weigh all these different factors.
I saw a really good comment there saying, we saw what happened when we lost to No. We don't want the same thing to happen. Now I know Evans is not quite that, higher up top 6 player, but it's very true. The effect on the defense after Dano left was significant. But Jesse, we got to get back into the chat because we've had some super chats and we had another member re-up their membership. We're going to get back here. Whoop, wrong button. Here we go. Super chat here from Noah for $10. Noah, thank you so much. I see a lot of people leaving some love on that. Thank you so much, Noah. Simply saying, I'm pushing 30 and I've never felt like this as a Habs fan before. Hutson, man, plus Laine, plus Demidov coming, plus core 3 of Caufield, Suzuki, Slav. Every game is a treat right now. The desk is shaking. The camera's shaking with the excitement. But that's so true. And we'll be getting into that a lot more when we get into this game, which we will very soon. But like, the energy, especially that Laine and Lane Hutson has brought to this team, Jesse, with the outlook for the future. Noah, you're bang on. Like, I don't remember, because the Habs have always been trying to compete for that cup. They've always been solid in my lifetime, like maybe missing the playoffs, maybe making the playoffs, deep run here and there. It's always been good, but I've never felt this much hope for the future. It's a new feeling for me, and I can't get enough of it.
Absolutely. It's not only like these players, but like the effects that they have on each other. As we see with Laine and Lane, like right now, they're basically reading each other's minds out on the ice right now. So that's what's really so exciting kind of going forward for this team. We're just seeing some things that we haven't seen in quite a long time, and kind of that compounding effect that they really have all by playing together right now, I think is just absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much again, Noah. We also got a channel membership Denis Rongier. Denis, it is fantastic to see you in the stream. It feels like it's been a while. Member for 8 months, re-upping the hat-trick tier, saying just Merry Christmas, Joyeux Noël, Joyeux Noël, Joyeuses Fêtes à tout le monde. Français, Anglais, English, French, it doesn't matter. You're all welcome in here. Thank you so much for everyone being in here. As I've ended the poll, Jesse, 81% extend. YouTube has never had these two numbers add up to 100%. I don't know why. Anyway. Annoys the crap out of me, but it is what it is. We also got some channel members in here. Plonko sending the Slavzilla. We've seen Plonko in the chat here for a while. Derek Rendell, only option is to extend Evans. We have a big question mark on Dach. Expiring Dvorak. Owen Beck would benefit. There is a lot of questions at that center position, there's no doubt. But Evans and Heineman on the second line with Laine. Now that's an idea. Don't know if Newhook or Dach would feel good about it, but hey, reward good play, I guess. 4.5 for 3 years with no problem. Patrick saying 4.5 is too much. A lot of interesting talk here. But yeah, the cap's going up too, Jesse, so that might affect things too. Would you, just before we quickly move on, would you pay $4 million a year for Evans, 4 on the dot for 3 years?
That's probably right at the top of what I would potentially pay there right now. Obviously, there's a lot going on with the CBA in terms of that increasing. You'd have to think a very high likelihood. I think if you're looking to have a team where you're really looking to get a little bit of a solid foundation, I don't mind going as high as that, potentially, but I can't do any more than that.
Yeah, it's tough. And hey, Black Malotube also says, like, it's a good point. Jake Evans' shot percentage this year, he's shooting 25%. So the goals would expect to go down, but the assists are still good, right? So it's not that crazy. But anyway, thank you all guys for talking on that front. Jesse, we got a few other things we want to get into. We will get into a game preview as we're about 15 minutes out from the game, but I wanted to highlight our boy over in the KHL. Haven't talked about him today. Just wanted to mention that Ivan Demidov won Player of the Week again. Of course, he scored goal, or not Player of the Week, sorry, Rookie of the Week. He scored goals in back-to-back games. Do I have those highlights? That'd be cool if I did. No, that's Victor Wembanyama. Well, here's an old Ivan Demidov highlight. If you like basketball, the San Antonio Spurs, go watch Spurs Digest, I guess. I host on there too. Shameless plug. He's finally got a bit of ice time, Jesse, after the meeting, right? The famous trip over there with Kent Hughes, Nick Bobrov, and Vincent Lecavalier. Certainly seems like Demidov's been getting some more opportunity. He's been making the most of it, and every single time we see him on the ice, he just gives us hope for the future, and I think the fans really love it too.
As well as just having that clutch player type of potential, making those buzzer beaters, so to speak, in front of Kent Hughes, like just extremely impressive. You can't really draw it up better. If like you're already Kent Hughes, you're going there, you're impressed by this player, and then you come and just see, that's the type of performance that he puts on for you with a player that you kind of want to center a lot of your organization around. Is this extremely encouraging, not only for the Habs brass, but of course for us as well. Here's at Habs Digest and all the millions of Montreal Canadiens fans that there are in the world right now. Like, just see him kind of show up when it matters, always kind of being ready. Again, we see you just give him that ice time. There's this huge correlation where basically Ivan Demidov in the KHL, if you put him like at least 10 minutes in the game, he's basically a point per game player right now. So I think that's an important metric kind of going forward, just knowing what type of talent we really have in this player.
I also just love these Russian graphics. Like, it's fun. Like, I can kind of read Cyrillic sometimes, but it's just, I don't know. It looks cool. I love the KHL actually English Twitter account is really good to follow if you want to follow some KHL stuff. They post some highlight stuff like that. But you're absolutely right, Jesse. This guy has been showing nothing but pure skill. His teammates have nothing but good things to say about him. Even Kuznetsov seemingly understanding that's kind of a BS situation that Demidov's been put in with this whole Roman Rottenberg situation because of how good he is. So there's some great stuff coming for him. Just wanted to give you guys that little update. We got some more comments in here. And Jesse, I'm always partisan to the Newfoundland comments because I'm back in Newfoundland right now, guys. Back in St. John's. And we got John saying, hello from Harbor Breton. You guys are awesome. John, my last time coming back to Newfoundland in August, I took a great picture out the plane window and you could see Harbor Breton clear as day through the plane window. It was awesome. So really, really cool stuff. We got Joseph Donovan coming in here saying, oops, late. Joseph, it's never too late. Welcome into the stream. Always good to see you around, my friend. You've been here so often. Awesome stuff. Jesse, let's, what was the next thing on the docket? Let's just go through the pictures because I have some stuff. Patrik Laine. So we'll talk about Laine first and talk about this first. He was named third star of the week in the entire NHL. 5 goals in 3 games this week, including a hat trick versus Buffalo, 3 power play goals. Of course, Jesse, the first player in NHL history to score 8 straight power play goals. The first player ever to do that. Cale Makar deserving first star of the week with 8 points in 4 games as a defenseman. William Nylander, 5 goals, 2 assists. Fair enough. But the fact that we're seeing Laine here already in his second full week back, really? This is unreal to see, and I know we'll be getting into some comments very, very soon, but I think a lot of fans are excited to see what he has in store in the game tonight.
Yeah, the buzz around Patrik Laine around the NHL is just really growing. And we're seeing, even fans from just different fan bases that really just want to see this player succeed, that are just as buzz even around the Montreal Canadiens, that is really growing. The fact with what Patrik Laine is doing right now, like just an electrifying player right now, just being like a complete threat. And the big thing is like he's getting goals right now. He's contributing for this team. But like those points at 5v5, those goals will start to come. If you can kind of be that much of a threat on the power play while also contributing at 5-on-5, which you haven't done yet, like that is going to be like the implications. Like this team's doing well right now, 3-game win streak. This is without him contributing on 5-or-5. We know that's going to balance out. He's too much of a threat there that obviously, this is big signs that he can have a huge effect on this team right now. And we're seeing that being reflected with him being in the very likes of the best in the NHL right now.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to witness this. Like he basically got sick of scoring regular power play goals, so he instead has just decided to start blasting it through players' sticks. Twice he broke Seider's stick with a shot.
Exactly.
What? Yeah, unbelievable. And then decided also making that backdoor pass to Slaf that I wish actually was a Slaf goal, because that would have anyway. We still called that, but just deciding to throw it in off Detroit defenders. And he has a good opportunity tonight versus Columbus, as we got another super chat here, Jesse, from Simon Desjardins, the Simon Desjardins, calling it. Laine gonna dump a Hattie on Columbus. You know what?
Woo.
We're gonna drop a little thing in the chat here, guys. We're gonna toss a little poll. We're gonna say Laine over under 2 goals tonight. We're gonna toss some polls in the chat. Get some people talking about this game here, because I think most people will probably say under, because let's be honest, statistically, probably, but it depends. Columbus, they can be disciplined, but sometimes they're not that disciplined. I think this will be really interesting. Great comment there, Simon. We got some other channel members in here as well. Gonna flash. Oh my gosh, this keyboard looks different, so it's different shortcuts. Joseph saying Patty for the Hattie. Mark Orr, welcome in, Mark Orr, one of our other Rocket Richard members. Mark, great to see your face in that video call last week. Awesome. Again, good evening, Habs fans. Go Habs, go. Thank you for being here, Mark. Derek Rendell, Laval Rocket have also been on a 3-game winning streak. They sit first in their division, second in the conference. They've been sitting top 5 in the AHL all season. I got to keep moving you around, Jesse. I'm sorry, because like I didn't crop the other one right, but we're keeping you there. We're keeping this. We're keeping this rolling. We got Blanco saying over. We'll let that chat simmer for a bit. But Jesse, are you ready to get into these comments that Laine had on the Columbus Blue Jackets, throwing some shade?
This is some big comments here. Let's get into it, brother.
Let's jump into this. If you guys didn't see this, there was an article that's linked in the description. Go have a look at this, because this is crazy. It comes from The Score. So it's the Score article linked in the description there. So Patrik Laine said they're a little too satisfied and too comfortable where they're at. Talking about Columbus, It wasn't really a fit for me anymore. But here in Montreal, it doesn't matter if we're winning or losing. We're always trying our best. And that's what I felt about it in Columbus. Now, he also said, I feel like we were just doing the same thing year after year. I was tired of losing and just giving up when it's December to start focusing on next year. I'm not going to do that. That's frustrating as a player when you're trying to win, and some people are, not like that. I'm having the time of my life here in Montreal, so probably I don't want to get too much into I don't want to get into that too much. Very interesting. Now, I would say this counts as shade thrown here. I mean, this is pretty blatant, pretty direct. I don't know how recent these quotes are, but this article I saw today, just a couple hours ago. To hear that about the Columbus Blue Jackets organization, and I know they've been through a lot, their fans have been through a lot, of course, with the whole Johnny Matthew Gaudreau thing as well, is so terribly sad. But to hear this about their locker room even prior to that, like while Patrik Laine was playing in there, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to expect from the Jackets organization. You got to imagine they're seeing this and they're coming out fired up tonight, but you also got to think Patrik Laine, Jesse's coming in to prove, like, look, I made the right choice getting out of here, and I'm going to show you what I got here in Montreal.
This is big words here, kind of, especially going into the game tonight, because there's got to be some players you have to feel from Columbus who aren't going to take lightly to this. But you know what? Like, I'm okay with a player, kind of feeling in a certain situation that he wants to be a little bit more competitive. And this just says a lot of how he really believes in the Montreal Canadiens. Like, he knew it was a rebuild. And he wouldn't have come over here if he just felt like we were going to be perpetually losing. Like, that's the last situation. Like, he wanted to get to a team where they felt had that upswing to kind of be more competitive, that really wanted to succeed. The fact that he was seeing that in Montreal, he was tired of that in Columbus. He's coming to Montreal to kind of turn that page. He's helping this team have a very respectable record since being in the lineup. I think is absolutely huge, right? And like, we're talking about Columbus, to be fair, like in 4 seasons where they didn't finish above that 6th position. Like, you want one of your star players to be upset with losing as important. Like, this is what you actually want to see. So for me, like, that's the positive thing about Laine, because sometimes that's the biggest knock against him is like, oh, does he care to compete, different things like that. It's like, this is very much showing the signs of a player that does want to compete. He does want the team to do well, and he's going to do what he needs to do to really contribute to that.
I mean, this is a guy that we clearly see shines in the brightest of lights. He shines in a market like Montreal. Like, I mean, based on this quote again, like, this dude wants to play meaningful hockey every single night. And even if the Habs are losing games, they don't phone it in, right? This is a team that always has expectations. The fans, even if you're in a tanking season, they're not just going to roll over and accept that, right? They want you to put in your best effort every single night. They want you to try and win games. They will reward you when you do. And him playing in Montreal, Jesse, is like a match made in heaven, as we've seen from the start. This is an unbelievable thing, as we have Mark Orsang in chat with that chirp line, and needs to put on a show tonight, which is why I went over in the poll. It's a great point. I think so too, as we also got another super chat from Zuna, sort of related, sort of not. Looking at the schedule, where do you expect to draft Zuna? Thank you so much for the super chat. Again, Jesse, there's this rolling in. It's hard to keep track of everything here, but Laine, if Laine keeps on this pace and he stays fired up like these quotes here, Jesse, I can imagine Montreal doing quite good down the stretch. Hard to say. I mean, looking at the schedule the rest of the way, the standings are going to change along the way. But I'm going to say I'm optimistic, and I think we'll be drafting between 6th and 10th this year. I don't think it's going to be another top 5 pick. I think this team has shown enough for me right now that they have enough energy. They have the pieces, barring some kind of major injury, knock on wood, that Montreal can genuinely, especially with Patrik Laine being this version of Patrik Laine, start to push up the ranks even just a little bit.
There's some big good indicators here, right? Because we have lost some games, but a lot of that is inexperience. A lot of it has been some personnel issues too, of trying to put some round pegs in square holes. A lot of left side defensemen playing on that right side. Positive indicators: Carrier, Laine killing it on the power play right now. Let alone Caufield being so hot as well. We also see that Slav is starting to pick up his game right now. So if these things kind of hold true, to answer your question, I would hope for them, like the Montreal Canadiens, at the very least, I'm talking about, is finishing near the top of that bottom 10 of the NHL. I really think that should kind of be a goal, if they can kind of finish 9th, 10th at the very least. But we're going to see what happens. We know that the Eastern Conference is completely packed. Like, it's everybody's game. If we're winning this game tonight against Columbus, as we'll get into in just a couple moments, like, we're leapfrogging them there, just as we did to Detroit the other night. Like, there is a pathway here for us to do a little bit better. I think Kent Hughes is helping this team a lot, which, quite frankly, I think matters to kind of winning those hockey games. Having a healthy Patrik Laine matters to this team being successful. So it's all about just kind of building on these habits. But nice to see the team rewarded, which I think will definitely lead to further success.
Absolutely. And we'll get right into this game tonight, because I think this is going to be a big indicator of how Montreal comes out. Big road trip here. Kind of like not a bunch of games in a row, but like there's a lot of them on the road coming up. But before we get into that, I just wanted to take this time, as we have over 300 people in here, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the stream. We went through technical difficulties. We got a different setup here behind us. We pump out this daily content for you every day. And if you appreciate what we do, we really appreciate you. Just leave a like on the stream right now. It's free, and it helps us out more than you could ever imagine. And also, if 300 people here, half of you are not subscribed, you got to be subscribed to leave a chat anyway. We just passed 16K, and we'd really appreciate it if you hit that button too. Again, also completely free. Let's talk about the game, Jesse. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to close the Patrik Laine poll as the official results are in. And the results say 63% of people say under 2 goals. It's 36. YouTube, come on. 36% of people say over. The fact that over a third of our fans think he's going to score over 2 goals is kind of crazy. Before we get into this game preview, Jesse, a big super chat from something's going on. The Wi-Fi's kicking out here now. Super chat crashed YouTube. Are we back? Are we back? Jesse, I think we're back. Let us know if this is crazy. We might have to clue this up fast. Ethan, basically saying, is it worth paying Evans what he's worth, even though we're far out from a playoff run? Ethan, thank you so much for the question. I think so, Jesse. I think it's worth it, because again, it is stepping in at a price that is market value, or like roughly at market value. I think he's in a position to give Montreal a lot. I think you're frozen again. Oh my gosh.
Right. You hear me right now, buddy?
Barely. It's going. We're in the no, it's crashed. Okay. Oh no. You know what? I got him back. Boys, we're trying. Oh no. You know what? We rock with this here. This is all right. Let's see. Yeah, we're buffering a lot. I think we might be briefly good, Jesse. You got quick thoughts on that before we go out again?
Yeah, no, that's it. Sorry, I kind of lost track with all the distractions there. But
Jake
it's all
Evans
good.
worth it to sign him for 3 years at $4 million, even though Montreal is in a position where we're still 3-ish years out of probably being a true contender.
We didn't sign Monahan, a player that helps us win. I'm all now as we're starting to get into that phase a little bit more. I'm all for signing Jake Evans, a player that'll help us win, keeping him around in the stable for sure.
Absolutely. Again, sorry about that, Ethan. Your chat was so big, it crashed the super chats. We're good. The bitrate is lower. Plonko with the $2 donation here. €2, sorry. That's like $20. Not true. Laine is going to prove many people wrong today. Go Habs. Absolutely, Blanco. Jesse, let's get into a quick, thank you again, Blanco, a quick lineup thing before this whole thing just falls apart. Here's the projected Habs line. Same thing, nothing new here. Guhle Carrier is the big thing for me, Jesse, but the big note heading into this game, Montembeault, again, I think it's his 9th straight start. We do have a back-to-back coming up next week, which you got to imagine Primeau's going to get one of those starts versus Florida or Tampa on a back-to-back as we head to South Florida. Any thoughts on the Habs lineup this game? I know we're talking a lot about Laine, but I'm excited to see Guhle Carrier again. Carrier's been a quote machine. He loves to be here. But Monty and net again, Jesse, I think tells us a lot about what's going on in the goalie situation.
And I'm completely here for it. A big one to keep the eye on tonight is Slaf, who's played really well since being put back onto that first line there. 2 goals, 1 assist in his last couple games there. And also the big thing kind of going into Columbus is getting shots on net tonight, kind of keeping up that volume of shots, because Columbus, that's one of the things where they've allowed the 3rd most goals in the NHL this season. Like, you can get some behind them. They have some offense, so you want to get those shots on early and often.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great shout. I mean, we got our first 30-shot game just the other day, which is, we were one off from tying the NHL record for most consecutive games without 30 shots. That 2000-2001 wild thing. The people are already in here. This is awesome. Just they're back. We still got 250. The fact that we only lost like 50 people during that whole fiasco is crazy. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Oh man, we love the passion of these fans right now. And Ethan said we can hear you fine. Thank you again. Apologies, Ethan. Thank you so much for that $20. Your question was lost in the fray, but if anything, it was not even lost in the fray. We still answer, but if anything, it's memorable. I hope that's okay with you. Blanco sending the Laine emoji. First annual Habs Digest Bash coming in 2026. Hey, I'm not opposed to that. We're gonna have to get some stuff going for you guys. We got some great stuff. J-Dog saying it's happening everywhere but the Wi-Fi here in Abbotsford. My mother's computer's buffering, but I am watching Habs Digest. Woo, go Habs, go. Thank you so much, J-Dog. Thomas Dizomo, catch me up here. What did I miss? Well, you missed. Just give everyone who's coming in now what you missed as we head into the game. Ivan Demidov was named Player or Rookie of the Week in the KHL. Lane Hutson is on some historic pace right now. We talked about Jake Evans' contract negotiations, what we'd give him, should we sign him, should we not. Patrik organization saying a lot of people there didn't care to win, but he loves it in Montreal. We're finally into the lineups. Final thing, Jesse, we look at the Columbus's lineup. My gosh, not looking great in the goalie situation. It's looking like Greaves is going to get the start tonight. Their defense has been a little bit banged up. They do have some great players. Of course, that Monahan, Voronkov, Marchenko line has been rolling this season. But again, you control the top line of Columbus. I know Fantilli can be dangerous. I think you can control this game. Get shots early and often, exactly as you said. And looking at this team, their defense is one of their strongest suits right now. They got Severson, they got Jordan Harris playing, Provorov, Fabro, Werenski. Werenski has 11 goals this season. He's been amazing. But control that top line. Montreal controls the shot share. I think this is a nice, easy win if they execute heading on into the Christmas break.
Yeah, but we definitely don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. This is a young team, but they're going to want to look to continue those good habits, especially defensively, of just kind of keeping our coverages, everything else. They will need to be honest, because there is still a little bit of depth with the Blue Jackets as well. They're ranked 9th in the NHL in scoring. They can get some goals, for themselves there. But the big thing will be, Xhekaj has kind of been stepping up his play low key, which is helping this game a lot, like this team a lot defensively, of having those players really step into their identities right now. I think this is the big thing with the Montreal Canadiens. Like, some insiders are noting at it. Like, they're seeing it. Like, the Montreal Canadiens are finding their game, but this is a big one for me. Like, I want the Montreal Canadiens to win this game. We've been looking for more for that consistency. They're kind of similar right now, Columbus, to us in terms of a record. You want to go out while we're hot and really snatch this game.
Yeah, I think they have the ability to do it. Again, you can't take them lightly because, like you said, they have a lot of young depth. Those contracts are not big, but Van Riem's like $900K, can still score a lot of goals. Kent Johnson, $1.8 million, young player, 22 years old. Cole Sillinger, 21 years old. Matthew Olivier there. No, it's not Olivier. It's another guy. It's another guy's name. I don't remember his name, but Kevin LeBanc, even on that fourth line, still some good stuff there. Any projections on first goals, Jesse? I haven't really thought about it. I'm just going to say Patrik Laine for Montreal. Who you got scoring Montreal's first?
Wow, great question there. I'm gonna go with my gut here. I'm gonna go Gallagher.
Ooh,
Gallagher goal.
George Mayer loves that comment, Jesse. Leave your thoughts for first Habs goal in the comments right now. I want to see all your predictions as we got to get through a couple super chats before we close this thing off. We got Simon Desjardins once again. Simon, so generous, so amazing. Congrats on 16K subs. Simon, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a huge goal for us. That 20K numbers are right around the corner, and we couldn't do it without all of you guys. Simon, you've been so great in supporting us. You've given so many channel memberships out, people that have returned later. Every single one of you watching is such a big part of that. Thank you very much. And Ethan Jesse has sent another super chat. Don't crash this time. Let's hope Ethan's doesn't crash this time. $5. Thank you again, Ethan. Would you rather keep Armia as well as Evans? He's been almost just as defensively reliable as Evans, as we don't have many guys like him. We talked about this a bit, Jesse. A Habs penalty kill without Armia and Evans is not the same penalty kill. Those two guys have thrived this year. I'm not opposed to it, but I feel like it's easier to find a replacement for a guy like Armia than it is a guy like Evans, considering Evans is a center. But I'd like to have them both back at the right price. But again, at some point, you also got to realize you have young guys that are going to have to take this spot eventually.
Armia will get traded along with David Savard. I think those will be those two options there. That being said, though, that adds a lot of credence to, keeping Jake Evans is, again, not trading all of your penalty kill. It's going well. Also not getting rid of all the vets, not getting those young guys and put them into such a critical position early on. You want to kind of coast them along, like similar with Jake Evans, how it kind of took him some time. Having Jake Evans doesn't mean that these guys can't play. It just means that they'll really need to earn it, and they'll kind of need to just progressively kind of grow into those roles over time there. So I think, Evans, you got to keep. Armia's, I've been happy to see his contributions, in different ways, but I do believe this will be his last year with the Montreal Canadiens.
I believe as well. I love Mario Armia. He's been awesome. This has been such a good stream. Thank you so much again, Ethan. The game starts soon. I don't know if it's 7:30. I think it's been advertised at 7. Gonna read some projections, some of your projections for the first goal. We got Zen Misterio saying Laner. We got a lot of people saying Lane Hutson. The Lane train's about to leave the station. He's about to score a second of the year. We got someone saying Heineman. A couple people saying Heineman off the rush. We got Cole Caufield. Yes, I know he's 13 now, but this animation was made before. Maybe we got to make a new one. Some guy with Laine in his name will score. Or, yeah, hey, why not? We got Joel saying Slaf. We got Slavzilla. A couple people saying Slaf. We got Suzuki. We got a lot of people. We got Dach will save us. Would I ever love Dach to get that first goal, Jesse? George Mayer saying, I'm saying surprisingly Dach. Jesse, you're probably going to be right. He thinks you're right, Jesse, but Dach could be it. We see Galley in there. Dach has to figure out his game soon. We got to chug a beer every time Dach puts a stick in the face. Hey, you know what it is? What it is. I'm on Team Kirby. I think Kirby's going to bounce back eventually, Jesse. I'm not giving up on him yet. I know he hasn't been great. I'm predicting a big 2025 for Kirby. Any final thoughts as we end off this stream and we send the fans off to the game?
Definitely, Dach will look to keep his stick on the ice here tonight, but obviously a lot of fun. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of this again. We obviously appreciate so much of the support. We had that goal of getting those 16,000 before the new year. Like, we just completely smashed it, so guys, thank you so much once again for all the love and support.
Unbelievable stuff, guys. As always, if you enjoy, Colin McDonald, go Habs, go from Vietnam. That's crazy. We got people all over the world. Shout out to you as we're leaving the stream. Thank you for tuning in to this crazy live episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. We got daily Habs news. We got weekly streams, sometimes even more often than that. Tune in down below. Hit subscribe. It's completely free. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Jesse Poirier. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the game. We'll catch you all in the next one.